Hello and welcome back to Level Up with Loraine. I am your host, Loraine, and I want to say welcome to any new listeners. I'm very glad that you are listening to this episode today. It's going to be a pretty special episode. So if you're new here, I think this is a great episode to be starting this journey with Loraine on. And if you are a regular, welcome back. And I'm also excited for you because you know sort of a bit about me by now. And today I'm going to be talking about 36 lessons at the age of 36. So 36 lessons that I have learned over the past 36 years. And I must say, most of these have been a realization in my 30s. So my 30s have been a lot different than I thought they would be when I was still in my 20s. I have a deeper understanding of relationships and the kind of relationships that I want to have and maintain, the kind of person that I want to be in those relationships. I also have a greater appreciation for naps, taking long naps, as well as resting, putting my feet up. However, I think the biggest takeaway or realization at this moment in my life is that I'm a lot more aware and secure in myself. A lot more than I ever thought I'd be at this age. I'm calmer. I take time to respond. I actually go to sleep and then wake up and respond or make a decision. I'm no longer as impulsive as I was in my 20s. And I don't sweat the small stuff as much. I don't know if you know what I mean by this, but things that would keep me up at night or would, have me breaking into a sweat no longer do that to me. I am very in control, I think. I'm much more in control of my emotions, much more in control of my impulses. And I've definitely learned a thing or two or more about life that I wish I'd understood a lot earlier on. They would have saved me a lot of heartache, a lot of wastage of money and resources and time and sweat. So today I'm going to be sharing some of the more important ones, 36 to be exact. And I chose 36 because I turned 36 last year in November, about 5 months ago. And although I'm a little nervous to be staring 40 in the face, I'm really north of 40 now. There are just some things that come with age that are great. Awareness is one of them. So let's get into it. Grab a drink of your choice, get cozy, and let's get started. So the very first one is trust your instincts. Trust your gut. I can't tell you how many times my intuition was right and I didn't honor it or speak up on it. And what I mean is, for example, you've been invited to do something or go somewhere and, your spirit or your gut is just saying, no, or have you ever been in a meeting and you have an idea, but you're afraid to share it? So now you're having this conversation in your head and a dialogue about this thing you need to say or you want to say, but you are unsure of yourself. And so you don't say it. And then all of a sudden a colleague or your boss shares the same idea and you're like, damn it, I should have just spoken up. So trust yourself. That feeling, that gut, that instinct that is telling you yes or no, trust it. Instincts are so important because they provide an automatic response to a situation. Your gut, your instinct, that feeling helps you make better, faster, and even more accurate decisions. And it gives you the confidence in your choices than relying on an intellect one. I mean, if animals use their gut feeling or their instinct for survival in the jungle, I think we should do the same in life. So trust your instincts. And the second one may seem obvious, but it gets harder as you get older. And that's today is the perfect day to start. That's the second lesson for me. Today is always the perfect day to start. And I'll tell you, when you think about all the big things you've ever had to do in life, whether it's motherhood or getting married or starting a big course, applying to this big role, immigrating, whatever big decision you've ever had to do, you've always thought, maybe it's not the right time. Maybe today is not the day. Well, I'm here to tell you that today is the perfect day. And I think we all learned how life is so precious as of 2020 or during the pandemic. You know what? Today is the perfect day to open that bottle of wine that you've been saving up for whatever, to wear that fancy dress that you've been waiting for a big sort of celebration for, to start that business, start that podcast, do whatever you want to do. Today is the perfect day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. And do anything else you've been putting off. Do it now. Really, it all goes a lot faster than you think it will. Don't wait to do the things you want to do. Okay, so that's the second one. Number 3, it's okay to outgrow people and things, because we all change. And when someone tells you you've changed, that's good. Don't take offense, because that means you've grown. The person they knew 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago is not who you are today. And that's okay. And hopefully they have too. And if in that change, you can both still vibe and, have an authentic relationship, that's amazing. If not, that's amazing too, because that means that gives you space and room to meet other people who will add value to your life. And their season has passed, and that's okay. So really, let's normalize outgrowing people or things that no longer serve us, and without a dramatic breakup. It does not need to be drama. No theatrics are required here. It's nothing inherently bad has to happen for you to be able to move on. So it's okay to outgrow people and things. Now, the fourth one really is something I'm realizing every day. It's the realization that it really is better to give than to receive. I cannot explain to you the fulfillment I get when I give than when I receive. And when I talk about giving, I'm not just talking resources like money or gifts and things like that, but the time, my effort, lending an ear to a friend. Honestly, at this age, I feel like when I give my friend time, that is the best gift ever. And it's so fulfilling for me when I do that. I mean, recently I did a school run for a friend of mine who'd gone out of town. And for her, it was such a big deal, right? Because it's her children. And she says to me, "Lo, thank you so much. Thank you." You could see that it was a big deal on her end. For me, I had an extra hour and it was on my way anyway. And so I did it. But then you realize, wow, you really impacted someone's life. And it's a bigger impact than if I had bought her a purse, etc. So I really am learning that giving is just much more fulfilling than receiving. And yeah, I'm giving the example of time, but people, it's really nice when you give someone something that is more impactful, something they really need. And for me, it's more fulfilling when you see their face, their entire face light up and they're just so grateful. That feeling is better than when I receive. Now, I'm not saying I don't like gifts, that I don't like to receive. I do. I'm just saying the giving feeling and the fulfillment that comes out of that is much greater than when I receive. Number 5, spending money for quality is almost never a bad choice. And what I mean by this is in my 20s or in my younger years, I used to spend on anything and everything, right? And now I'm realizing, yes, I still spend, but on quality and things that will, last me longer. And they may be fewer, but they are, of greater value, of better quality. And I want to move away from the material things. I also want to talk about experiences, right? I do find that the older I'm getting, I'm I'm investing more in experiences than material stuff. And when I talk experiences, I'm talking travel. So I may not travel 3, 4, 5 times a year, but the 1 or 2 times I'm going to travel, I'm going to make sure that it's quality. It's amazing accommodation. It's an amazing destination. We will do the activities. We will go all out and invest in that experience and create memories that outlast or are more valuable than the money it cost me. So yeah, I think the older I'm getting, I'm realizing invest money in quality, whether it be material things, but more importantly for me, experiences. Number 6, you are not your job. OMG, you are not your job. So there is more to life, right? A lot of us push and push and we're trying to climb this corporate ladder, or we're trying to build this business, and because it's ours, all we do is the business. Again, the pandemic taught us, and I think age has taught me, that there's more to life. So learn a skill, do a hobby outside of your profession, because you are not just your profession or your job. You are a whole person who needs to be developed and fulfilled in other areas. So when was the last time you learned a hobby, right? When was the last time you learned a new skill? When was the last time you did something outside of your job and your business or whatever you do, right? Yeah, so I repeat, you're not your job. Make time to enjoy things that have nothing to do with your work, to give your brain a break, and to live a full life. So I want you to think for yourself and maybe write it down and then honor it with time, or plan to do this. But write down, if I took a sabbatical from my job today, what is the first thing I would do to enjoy my time? And after you write it down, try and think about how to bring it to fruition, how to make it happen. You ought to do it. You are not your job. You certainly aren't. And you need to find time, ways, resources to make other dreams come true. Okay, next. Number 7, therapy is important. Now, a lot of people struggle with this. It's not something we saw our parents do or go to or talk about freely. But honestly, therapy is important. It's critical. And you don't need to wait for a big, devastating life event for you to go to therapy. Even as you are okay, or as you are today, you would have heard me in other episodes speak about how our childhood, our past experiences have impacted the adult you are today. And so there are things you need to deal with. Even if you have a good life, even if you feel like you're okay, you don't need it, I promise you, you need it. We all do. We all need therapy. And I know that I need help communicating. And so I actually have a therapist that I talk to. And one of the things we talk about is communication, how to communicate better for myself in the workplace, at home, with my friends, with my spouse, with my children or my child, And so just to be a better, again, wholesome person, I feel these are some of the things you should invest in without necessarily needing a life event to trigger you to start therapy. And so therapy is important. It's been a lesson for me that I've learned that it's a good value add for myself. Point number 8, be present. This has been topical amongst my group of friends, where we've realized that since our 20s to date, we are always chasing the next big goal. So whether it was finishing school, getting a big job, as soon as you get that job, you want a promotion. As soon as you get the promotion, you want to buy a house. As soon as you buy that house, you've outgrown it, you want the next house. Soon after that, you're thinking, do I need to immigrate? Do I need to do this? We are never present, right? And we're always trying to chase the next thing. We never just still in the moment, appreciating that the fact that the life I'm living today, I prayed for it. I worked hard for it. I manifested it. I'm in it. Let me be still and present and enjoy it. And so I know for myself, I'm always chasing the next thing. Once I tick a box, I'm already thinking, what's next? What am I starting? What am I doing? Where am I going? Sit still, be present. It's okay to just be still. And that's a key lesson that I've learned in the past couple of years, because life will pass you by really quickly. And before you know it, you're looking back thinking, oh my goodness, I got the opportunity to be somewhere, but don't remember. I didn't enjoy it. Or I got the opportunity to travel somewhere, but I don't remember exploring that place because I was already working on one, two, three, So when you are in a phase of your life or in a situation or place, be present, take it all in. I think for me, I've also realized there are things my daughter will do. And I realize, how did I miss that? When did you learn that word? When did you learn to do that? When did you? And I missed it because I've just been going. Work, back home, task after task after task, never just sitting and being present and taking things in. And like I'm saying, life will pass you by. Kids grow quickly, and I've missed one or two things, and it can be heartbreaking. I'm a present mom, but there are times when I'm not present, and I've missed some key things. And for me, that's a daily reminder to just be present. Number 9, protect your peace. And this is self-explanatory. Like, you don't need to be places you don't need to be if you know they steal joy from you. If you don't need to be around people that drain you or steal your joy, you don't need to engage in conversations or any activities that make you uncomfortable. Protect your peace. And it's closely tied to point number 10, which is who you surround yourself with determines your fate. So find those who influence you to level up. Jim Rohn says, we are the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. Who is in your space and who are you spending time with? What value add are they adding to you? What are you learning? What are you absorbing? What are they depositing into your life? So yeah, protect your peace and watch who you surround yourself with. I have spoken a lot about be kind to yourself. I've said a lot about it in my past episodes, particularly around dealing with self-doubt and when I shared my why. And it's very important for you to be your biggest cheerleader. You need to be your biggest cheerleader. No one else will be at the forefront of taking care of you more than you. And so be kind to yourself. And I won't harp on this one. It's very self-explanatory. So that was point number 11. Point number 12 is feedback is a gift. Embrace constructive criticism. So I've just done a recent episode on giving and receiving feedback. And on the receiving feedback, I did emphasize a lot about being authentic and open about your faults. So being more self-aware, and you'll be amazed at how many people want to help you get better when you open yourself up to criticism. So feedback is a gift. It's been a lesson for me. And really, once I opened myself up to it, I've enjoyed receiving it. And yeah, and also just having the discernment to know between constructive feedback that is meant to build you up versus feedback that's meant to break you down. And this is very closely linked to number 13, which is be self-aware. So know your ego. Know when you are overinflating your experience or your abilities. Know your weaknesses, know your strengths. When you're self-aware, you are in a better position to be able to manage and regulate your emotions, to be able to communicate better in terms of what you need or what you don't need, to be able to make decisions better, to have improved relationships, higher levels of happiness, more confidence, more satisfaction in your work, at home. And you're just an overall better person when you are self-aware. So work on that for yourself. Tap into your ego. Be able to know it and tame it. Be able to know your weaknesses and your strengths and dial your strengths up when you need to. Moral of the story, just know yourself. Just know yourself. Next point, number 14, rest is as important as the grind or the hustle. And taking naps, like I said before, is super important. You will be a happier person if you take naps, long naps actually, and allow yourself to be bored. When was the last time you said, I'm bored, right? And just remained in your boredom? It's okay. It's healthy. And take days off. You cannot always be grinding and hustling. Rest, take naps, allow yourself to be bored, put your feet up, and sleep. Sometimes all you need is 9-10 hours of sleep, good sleep. And that problem you thought was a problem turns out is very minor or trivial. Or that thing you needed to decipher or to solve for is actually, the solution is right in front of you. So please sleep. It's important the older you get. Now, this next one is a good one, particularly in this world of social media. And yeah, so it's the fact that not everything needs to be shared. And some things are just sacred, I think, and you need to be able to keep that for yourself, for you and your family, for you and your partner, for just you. Not everything needs to be shared, and enjoy those little moments or little facts that are just for you and your close people. Not everything needs to be shared. And I enjoy social media, right? I love to share the fun stuff I'm doing when I'm traveling, when I'm eating a good meal, when I'm, at a party. But just because you don't share something doesn't mean you're not up to big things. So leave some things to the imagination, leave some things to be private, and not everyone needs to know everything about you. So just be able to know what your boundaries are, and by no means trying to tell or dictate. Some people really love their entire life out there. This was a key lesson for me. And yeah, I think with maturity is when you realize not everything needs to be shared with the world. And some things are sacred and private and special. Number 17 is travel. On the exterior, travel looks like you're just visiting new places, right? You're just capturing photos and doing fun activities. But really, on the interior, travel is a lot more than that. It helps you develop yourself. It opens up your mind. You make new friends. It refreshes your mind and it brings out new ideas. And for me, I've realized that every time I travel, it transforms me in one way or the other, which is commendable. And the holistic development brought by travel can never be achieved whilst sitting at home. It's an investment that equips you with practical knowledge, and it keeps away stress, depression, anxiety, and you get to have a new atmosphere, taking you out of your comfort zone and creating an opportunity for you to learn more about yourself and the place that you're visiting. So overall, traveling has broadened my horizon as a person, and I highly, highly recommend it. And I know a lot of people will always want to say, but what about the budget? I am not in a place in my life where I can travel. You most certainly can. And I think those are all excuses. Most people, by the time they travel, they have planned over a long period of time. They've put away or set aside funds. They have made a plan. And I think really to make travel a reality, you need to be organized. You need to be disciplined in terms of planning, saving, and making it happen. So travel, guys, for me, have seen the benefits, and it is something that is very important to me and my family. So, number 18, my net worth is not my self-worth. Now, this lesson, I think, came in my early 30s when I had huge goals for myself that I had hoped to have met by 30. And it started to impact me where I would look and think, listen, almost lowered my self-regard, lowered my confidence because I didn't have, the things I should have had at 30, or I hadn't achieved the goals that I'd set out for myself. And really, this is when I learned that actually your net worth, the money in your bank account, is not who you are. Your self-worth is not tied to how much or how little is in your bank account or what positions you have, what lifestyle you can afford, what partner or spouse you have. Listen, all of that is not tied to your self-worth. There's a lot of things that actually depress people when they think about their own self-worth and lowers their confidence and esteem. And some of this are when they look at their lifestyle, whether they can afford or not, when they look at their salary, their education, your means in life. Trust me, that has nothing to do with who you are and your self-worth. It's not your debt. It's got nothing to do with how much help you need or how far you are from your financial goals and any other goals. It really is tied to your values, your personality, and your qualities, how people experience you, the person that you are to yourself and to other people, how you treat them, how you speak, how you show up. That's your self-worth. It's not all this other stuff. It's not the material stuff. So this for me was a key lesson, particularly when I turned 30. And I was, I'd set the bar really high for myself. And the reality was that had nothing to do with my self-worth. All right. And number 19 speaks to embracing failures. Now, as I've explained before, I am someone who's ambitious, who sets the bar really high for herself. And so I have tripped, right, many a times. And once I found myself down, I have really struggled to get back up. And really, the key lesson here is embrace your failures. I've learned that failing forward is very important in life, and doing it early is even more important because then you can get back up on your feet and, you are less likely to make the same mistake twice. And so embrace failures. In fact, look forward to them such that you can learn and learn quickly and not repeat the same mistakes. Point number 20. Maya Angelou famously said, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. You can't change anyone's behavior, people. Their perspective, their opinions, you can't change them. And people are complex beings, right? We have years of ingrained beliefs, experiences that make us who we are. So expecting change from someone and getting upset when it doesn't happen is a recipe for disaster. It's a recipe for misery. So I know I'm a people's person. I love people and I make relationships or friendships or connections very easily. It's when someone shows me who they are and I refuse to accept it and I keep giving them a chance time and again, is where I find myself getting hurt. But really, I shouldn't, because this person has not lied to me. They've showed me that they're unreliable. They've showed me that they're not trustworthy. But I have chosen to ignore that because I really like them and I just feel like they will change. No, they won't. So this was a key lesson. All right. So we have come to the end of part 1 of the 36 lessons at 36 episode. This consisted of 20 lessons. The continuation will be next week, which is part 2 with the remaining 16 lessons. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, please share it with your friends. Don't forget to leave a review, and hit the notification button for a reminder for future episodes. Until next week, Monday, goodbye and continue to level up.